Mic check, mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Let's get it.
Yo, this is about to really hurt some people's feelings. So if you a little sensitive, you might as well turn this joint off right now. Okay? How you afraid to drop a dime when you already dropped a dime? Got a wife at home, but you steady on my line. Talking about shorty, you remember when I grind slow? Did I really blow your mind though? Nah, you got me confused with your other booze. I've been peep game, so I never gave a cookie up. And that's why I got your wife on the line, man. And I hope she gets every single diamond ring. Niggas kill me, they put their fist up. Got you all thinking that they meant other people.
Greetings, salutations. Thank y'all for tuning in today for a new episode of TK's Chronicles of a Black Sheep podcast. Greatly appreciate y'all today. Today we have a special topic of dating 101. How the day back to the basics, learning the basics of dating, which is, I think most of us might never know how to do, possibly, but we're going to get it together and figure it out. So today I have my co-hosts, my awesome co-hosts. I have DW and Nika Pinks. And then we have our special guest. Like, this guy has, in about 2 months, has definitely made like this impact. Like, he didn't have me thinking like, oh, let me try that. Like, I done seen a different world lately. So just with a lot of stuff, podcasts that I watch and with him. So this is also one of our collaborating group of people. So I'm very honored to have him on tonight. We have Mr. Derek Jones joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me. I'm ready to go.
Yes. So before we get started, can you give us some background about yourself?
All right, let me give you the cliff notes.
Yeah, I know.
I'm a certified life and relationship coach who just also happens to be an engineer. So my mind works a little different. And I created this platform in the podcast is called Relationship Gumbo. And that's because I try to pick out the little ingredients and see what you need to kind of manipulate to try to get yourself to a place where you can kind of have better, healthy relationships or dating. If you're breaking up with somebody and you're trying, you broke up and you're trying to figure out how to move on and all that stuff. A lot of times it's really just about adjusting your mindset and figuring out where the pain points are and communicating better and all that other stuff. So all I do is I just kind of look at it from a bird's eye view, step outside yourself and try to figure out where to put things. So that's it in a nutshell.
Yes. Well, I definitely grateful and thank you for coming on today. So we gonna get with it. So I'm gonna go ahead and I guess top off the first question since somebody lost their list, but I ain't gonna shoot that. And we know the other one, our Baptist preacher over there, have a long question. So my first question is, when you've been out of the dating game, someone has been out of the dating game for a while, we'll say maybe 5+ years. How do you put yourself back out there? Because as we seen last night, that didn't go well for somebody. So how do you get back out there?
That's for me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I can do it. I can do this. Okay, yes. So here's the thing. Here's the thing with this. When you say 5+ years, what people have to realize is, number one, if you've been out for 5 years, and let's say you haven't dated at all for 5 years, which is actually very common these days. I coach a lot of people that are in this situation. And what people don't realize is that dating is like going to the gym. So if you don't exercise the muscle, it kind of goes dead. And then by the time you start dating, it's scary because you don't even know how. And now, as technology and the world changes so fast now, 5 years is like 20. By the time you get back out there, you don't even know how they dating anymore. You telling people they got to go do online dating, and they're like, "What? I don't know. I would never do that." And I'm like, "No, this is what people are doing now. You gotta." And so it's. I would say like, what I always try to tell people is, just like if you were dating, if you never dated before, let's say they weren't in a relationship, it's the same thing. You got to figure out now at this point in your life, what do you want? Make that list. Make sure that it makes sense. And then you got to make another list. What's your deal breakers? And then when you start dating, you got to stick by that. No matter how good they look, no matter how good the sex might be, you have to stick to your guns or you open yourself up to be preyed upon. The boundaries is like it's like not kryptonite. It scares predators. It's not going to block them all, but it's going to block a lot of them because they're going to try some things. You can be like, wait, nope. I told myself I wasn't doing that. Sometimes our emotions get in the way. So you got to really make sure that your boundaries are intact and make sure that you are going out there and not staying places too long because you've been lonely for so long. And here's the thing. If you learn how to look for the things that are not like the red flags, then you can leave early. When you leave early, you don't have any stains on you to go to the next person, so you can keep dating without having to feel like every time you leave, oh, now all men suck because the 3 dudes I dated, you'll never be in a relationship. Because everybody gonna suck if you date like that. And then if you stay too long 3 times, by the time number 4 come, you done got some trauma now. You messed up for the next 3 or 4 now, but you're lonely, so you're gonna keep doubling down without trying to figure out why I keep attracting these same type of people. Anyway, as they say on Clubhouse, I'm gonna land my plane there.
Man, you better watch yourself. You better watch it now.
Yeah, I know you didn't got hyped. You was rubbing your hands. So going on with your question.
No, it wasn't even a question. It was just like what are you saying is facts. It's like, and I hear it a lot when, especially coming from, well, not just women, but men too. Like you get that phrase, all men ain't shit, all women are hoes and all that stuff. And I'm like, bro, you only talk to like 3 women. So you taking them 3 and categorizing everybody.
Yeah.
And then the thing that I throw back at everybody when they come out with that, I was like, who's the common denominator in that situation? Like, if you keep coming up with the same people or keep coming up with the same choices, maybe it's not the people, maybe it's you. But then they look at me like I got a penis on my forehead.
Nobody ever wants to be the person that caused the issue.
I got a pimple right there though. I do got a pimple though.
Yeah. That's true. So since you've already shot that out, and I follow you, so I saw you do a little twist or something. So I'm gonna hit you with it. Okay. What are red flags in dating?
Wow. That could be a big or little question. And here's the thing, right? Red flags aren't the same for everybody.
True.
Right? And that's why those lists are essential. They don't have to be this long. It just has to be meaningful to you. And once you do that, this is what I always tell people. Once you know what you want, then from there, that's how you build your boundaries. So the things that you encounter that don't feel right, the ladies, y'all intuition kick in, and as much as dudes be telling you it's BS, that thing be right. That intuition be right. And we try to gaslight you out of it. Those things that don't, here's the thing. That's a short way of saying this. People, most of us, up to a certain age, we probably been hurt before. 9 times out of 10. You know what don't feel right feels like. Yeah. So when you see it again, it should be some kind of alarm going off, right? Red flag. Hold on. Red flag on the play, right? I keep that in the pocket, right? You really have to know yourself to know what you're not going to deal with. The red flags are the things that you're not going to deal with, the things that don't feel right. And when you feel that, you either going to have a conversation or you're going to have to leave. you got two options. You have two options. And if you leave when you start feeling that it doesn't feel right and that other person really don't give a damn, it's time to go. You got to go. Yes. So I'm going to leave that there. I mean, I could give you a list of what red flags should be, but some people like some things that some other people be like, nah, I'm good. So I can't, I'm nobody's judge. You know, some people like certain things, but it's those things that just don't feel right. It's not healthy for you to do. And it's a lot of predators out here that are doubling down on red flags, and they waiting for you to just go ahead and accept it. And then by the time you in for 6 months, you like, dang, I wonder what happened. You know what happened. It didn't feel right on the second date.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna leave that there.
Yeah.
I'll just say I really like what you said about it being us and what we don't like. Because my thing is, a lot of times I'll be like, girl, am I tripping? Or hey, ask the guy, am I tripping? This happened. Nah, you tripping. But like you said, if it's something that feels some kind of way to me, why stay in it longer than I need to be when I can exit? So a lot of times when stuff come up, I'm like, oh, no, I don't like that. I'm done. I don't like that. I'm done. But then it's like, maybe you just being extra. So I'll say I'll put that in the memory bank.
The other thing, too, to add to that real quick, is you have to also be careful, too, that you spend some time before you even get back out there dating to get yourself together.
God damn it, I was going to say that.
Yeah, sometimes what you think is a red flag is your trauma kicking back up.
Exactly. Yep.
And it's not really there, and it's almost like you manifesting it for a person that didn't even really do anything. So you have to be careful about being triggered by stuff, because a dude could be at the dinner table and he'd be like this, and you'd be like, he got his phone in his hand. It must be a chick in here. And it's like, whoa, where'd that come from? He was just looking to see what time it was. Like,
we get to that part though. Like, we need to get to that part where we at the dinner table. We get to talking on the phone, and the red flags is like
that part, because that's part of the issue. You can't get to the dinner table because you got people that you're texting and communicating, going back and forth, and then you got that person that send you a picture of another female that's half naked.
Yeah. But I that shouldn't have been a flag for me, because I mean it happened. No big deal. But for me, it was a big deal. Like, you just sent me another woman nudes on accident. I don't like that. Red flag.
Wait. Hold on. We it's going left, like. Yeah, because you're like, how we go from red flag to getting titties and shit? I'm trying to.
For me, attention. That for her, that's a red flag. Because remember, we had this conversation, and you felt like she should. It wasn't a consolation of going forth, but for her, that was a red flag, and you was like, nah, shorty, you just keep going on with it. But as Derek said, it was something that was uncomfortable for her.
I said address it, like he said, like Derek just said. I said address it, let them know what's going on, and then go from there.
Yeah,
I said ignore it. First of all, I thought it was him with his shirt off. That's the first thing that threw me off. But so that's where this whole conversation spiraled out of control when y'all told me the truth. Got it.
The truth.
Yeah. But I'm listening, and it still goes back to like what you just said. It's like that person needs to take their time and understand. And you hit on something I wanted to say is like a lot of folks think a red flag is a red flag when it's just the trauma, or they haven't dealt with the past bullshit, whether they did it or somebody else did it. They haven't dealt with that part first, and then you go from one dude to the next person. Well, not dude, next one person to the next person to the next person. Now you got 3 relationships of past trauma that you have to deal with, and then you get to the point of all people ain't the dating pool got shit in it, women this, men that, blah 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 blah. But so how do we? My question to you is, how do we maneuver as a people through all of that? Like,
damn.
He said,
It's not easy. It's a whole big ass calculus problem, right? Like you when you think about how many people out here that are dating that shouldn't be out there dating, right? That's traumatized. They, and I'm gonna do a show about this in a couple of weeks about how people wear their trauma as a badge of honor. Like, I'm crazy, so you just gonna have to deal with it. I'm a jealous person. I'm toxic. I like some toxic D, and I need, and I'm like, you out the gate telling me whether you can't handle me. I'll handle you. What are you, like a wild horse or a donkey or something? Like, what are we talking about? Like, do I want to inherit all those issues that you talk about? You come with the table. That ain't cute. I know some dudes like a challenge, but come on. I'm ready. I don't have to deal with it. Come on.
And it's a lot. And you, like you saying, a lot of stuff you're saying is like folks are using it as a crutch. But then at the end of the day, when shit don't go their way, the first thing they revert back to is, oh, he ain't shit. He wasn't ready for me. I'm like,
yeah. When you say stuff like that, it means I'm not willing to change it.
And
that's the problem, right?
Facts.
And it should be a red flag when somebody says that.
Facts.
Male or female. Well, and a lot of women, y'all be like, yeah, I can be a little crazy when I'm in a relationship. What? Nah,
but you gotta deal with it. You gotta deal with it though. That's just how I am. Nah, motherfucker. No.
So yeah, just to answer the question in large, like, it's a lot of, everybody got stuff with them, especially now. Like, it's probably more than ever, just because of the stuff that we have to deal with, and the information that comes in, and everything, and how fast we do things. You mess around and go out with 20 dudes because you was on Tinder, where it might have been one or two, 10 years ago. So you got a lot of information to process and a lot of stuff. And so now these people are on the market saying I'm ready to date. So here's the common theme that I'm always going to talk about. You cannot control crazy, but you can control what you accept. Right. So that's why the boundaries are there, so that you can say, wait, that person said they crazy. They cute, we had dinner, but red flag. You have to follow what you know don't feel right. And once you start doing that, life becomes easier. Yeah, you might be single longer. So what? I would rather have better candidates that take longer than to have a whole bunch of them talking about all men and all women ain't this because the last 5 people out. Let me give you one more context on that too, because I came to this realization, even though we all know it, like within this past year, about dating. When people say all men ain't this and all women aren't this, most of us, just humans, we date within a certain mile radius of where we live, right? A lot of us go to the same bar every Friday for happy hour, and you get met by people there, right? You get the phone number, you exchange. It doesn't work. Where do you go to meet the next guy? In that same comfort zone. And a lot of cities, these dudes grow up in the same environment. They're socialized the same. So the odds of you finding a similar dude in that same city is very high. That's not the type of dude for you, right? But you keep going back because you're comfortable. Everybody know your name at the bar when you go. It's cool. What I always tell people is, when you say all, your sample size is way too small. You talking about 10, like he just said, you talking about like 3 dudes and 10 dudes. That's not enough for you to say all, and you haven't even left your city. Most of us don't. And when we realize ain't nobody for us in our city, we give up. And I'm talking about city like you're not even going an hour away. Nobody said go California and New York. I'm saying your state. like y'all live in San Antonio. You don't leave San Antonio and you like, man, these niggas ain't. No, San Antonio dudes might be that way, but that's not everybody. You got to broaden your search.
And it's only like 8 black people in San Antonio, and 2 of them on the show right now.
Shoot. And so they all got, and he probably everybody baby daddy. So
in rotation.
Yeah, it circulates. Yeah, very well. So yeah. Because I can't say I've dated nobody here in San Antonio in about 15 years. Usually I'm letting venture that. Yeah. It's like everybody be knowing everybody, and
Mhm.
I'm okay with that. Oh, that's your baby. Oh, that's who your baby mama is.
Oh, I'm glad you said that. So let me throw this out there too. Then, like we got the whole baby mama, baby daddy drama and all that stuff, right? Yeah, let me rephrase that. So I know we're talking about dating, but everything starts with the a friendship, that ship part. So what do you, in your thought process, what is the difference between a friendship and relationship?
Well, I'm gonna say this first out the gate. Most relationships don't even have a friendship element. They have we've been seeing each other for a certain amount of time.
You better talk.
Every weekend we at somebody different house, but we've been together, so we just gonna go together, right?
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Every relationship should be a friendship, right? However, that's not the most common thing. The difference is that when and here's the part where how you know your relationship isn't a friendship. The friend is supposed to be the person that you come to, talk about your problems, they don't judge you, and you work it out, even when it's something you don't want to hear.
Yeah.
How many couples actually do that? Non-judgmental communication. That's a friendship supposed to be, right? This is my friend. So the difference is let's say you start out as friends and then you get into a relationship. You know how some people say, oh, it's changed. It's changing because now the arguments start to be about different things. You're stepping into territory you haven't been into. So now all of the non-judgmental stuff starts to get gray. And the key here is, just as a coach, what I coach people on is you gotta, if you're going into it with some tools, you got to talk about the rules of engagement early. We're not going to hurt each other. This is what's going to happen when I get mad. I'm the type of person, I need some space before we come back. I know you are the type of person that want to handle it right now. We need to figure out how we get to the middle so we don't hurt each other, so that we can have that friendship throughout all of this. That's the key. Most of us don't have that going there. We learn it as we go and figure it out, and we hurt each other, and we have resentment, and we looking at them like you know how people say when you get married, the sex is gonna not be as much, and it's not about the marriage and the sex not being as much. Y'all, if I'm arguing with you every day, if I'm arguing with you every once a month, guess who's not sexy to me anymore? You're an enemy combatant.
What? Hold on, stop. Hey, like we said, open mic night, rewind.
You're not sexy no more. Like people like, why they don't want to, why they not initiating this? You just yelled at this dude for 10 minutes about not taking out the trash. He not trying to hit nothing right now. So you got to think about that. Yeah, like you're not thinking about why. It's not the marriage. It's because when you get married, you got more responsibilities. Maybe you got some kids popping off. You got stress coming in. And then you have to be able to, that's why I said you got to talk about the rules of engagement, because somebody going to say something that hurts you. And if I'm a man, I'm not going to be like, baby, you hurt my feelings. I'm going to be like, we got it. You good. It's not good. Because by the time number 50, guess what? I'm about to go hang out with the fellas again. Dang, didn't you just go out last Friday? Now I'm about to go. Because home, and I did a show about this, home carries all of that stress and the arguments and all of that.
Hello.
I need to go outside just so I can be myself.
Get peace. Yep.
We always talk about men needing peace and women need it too. But when you live in a hostile environment, that's when you see these dudes sitting in the driveway for an extra 30 minutes before they go in. They like, damn, man, I don't even want to go in there. Outside look real good now, right? Because I can't even function in my house. I got to put a mask on. Yeah, baby, we good. I just took Johnny to the baseball game. Yeah, okay, yeah, we straight. Go to bed, wake up, rinse and repeat. 5 years go by. You don't even know who the hell this person is anymore.
Right.
It sucks. That's why I became a coach, because I'm like, wait, no, y'all shouldn't have broke up. It's this little piece right here. If y'all just talk and do it, and I'm like, no. I'm like, before the train wreck happens, You need to be able to know what happened, because you can take two good people, great, amazing people that should be together, and you put some arguments in the middle that's unresolved. It's over.
Yeah, facts.
I didn't say cheating. I didn't say somebody got their ass beat. Just arguments. They hurt.
Yeah, facts. I've seen that several times. Yeah.
Okay. So,
and that's not, the crazy part about, I ain't gonna cut you off, Nika. Crazy part about it, that's just not in a marriage, so that's in a relationship too. That's how a lot of relationships end.
And that's why. I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry, I cut you
off.
No,
I said not because of cheating, because of stuff like that.
And that's why when people say, and I've been married for 11 years, right? When I always tell people, they're like, nah, I ain't getting married. Them things don't work. No, two people that don't get along and don't work together don't work. It don't have anything to do with marriage. That the marriage is a continuation of y'all not knowing how to deal with each other.
Yeah, that part.
I'll be like, wait, and I know I'm a happily married man. I'm not here to say because I'm married, you should do this. Not everybody ain't meant to be married. But don't say the marriage is what causes people to break up. People that don't know how to communicate, people that don't know how to manage their emotions. That's what breaks it up. And when I say these things, they sound trivial. Don't know how to communicate. It's a small thing that could be tweaked. But your emotions are so all over the place, and maybe because of, like I always had to tell people, it might not even be the person sitting in front of you that's causing me issues. It might be your boyfriend from 2 years ago, and you like taking it out on the new dude. Because I used to always have this saying whenever women would charge me with stuff, and I'm like, you don't even know me. I'm not him. I don't even know who you talk about. I didn't do that. You got the wrong dude. And they be like,
that makes me think about Music Soul Child song Previous Cats, because that's all it basically says. That he goes through like, I'm not that dude. I didn't do it. Like,
we might have some new problems, but I don't want to rehash some stuff that happened with and that in itself destroys relationships. Because people are putting stuff on you that don't belong there. People are comparing you to other people that it shouldn't be. People comparing you to their daddy. You not like my dad. Hold on, man. I know, because I'm not him.
Yeah, I don't want to be your daddy. I mean, I do want to be your dad, but not like that. Yeah, call me daddy, big daddy. Yeah. But nah. But see,
let Nika Pinks answer.
Let him run it. Let him run it, because it's.
I'm going on mute. I'm going on mute now.
His head's swelling because he got questions. Let him get it out.
Nah, go ahead. Go ahead, Love.
Ask your question, ma'am.
I was gonna take it back a little bit because I was still, in the friendship part of it. So I know a lot of us, we talk about, wanting to be the friends first and things like that. But what is that line between the friendship going somewhere into that relationship and being stuck in that friend zone? Because I know when I'm trying to get to know people and, we start being that friend and you get kind of pushed in that friend zone, ain't no coming out of there. So I guess what is that line to determine, or how is that even created? Because after they get there, I don't.
So the friend zone isn't a real place. And I'm going to tell you why. Either you my friend or you not. The friend zone is something that whoever the person is, they make it up in their head because maybe they didn't get what they want. But and people talk about the friend zone all the time, like, oh, she friend zoned me or whatever. And I'm like, no, you just wasn't for her. Just like any other situation, you ain't in the friend zone. And at that point, either you're going to detach because you didn't get what you want. And some men will hide and women will hide in that space and claim that they're a friend. But there's no place where you just throw a bunch of people and they just all in there like, help, let me out. You either going to be that friend or not. And if you feel like it's uncomfortable, then you may have to have a conversation, or you may have to delete that person from your life because their intentions aren't honorable. Like if this dude, there are anomalies, okay? If this dude tried to hit 100 times, and you like, nah, I don't think this going. When he becomes your friend, he's still thinking about it. So you have to, because they just did an episode about that on one of them shows on. I can't remember what it was, but the guy was hibernating for a long time, and she was defending him against her fiance. She was like, "No, this is my friend." And then at the end of the show, he was like, "Yeah, if she wasn't with him, I wouldn't mind." And she was looking at him like, "Wait, I thought you was my boy." So,
to add to that, what friend zone is, they're just loading their stable. You that backup. So if shit don't go right, or if you're having a hard time, I got somebody to call and, hey, what you doing? Hey, big head. Hey, stranger.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's what that is. That's exactly what that is. So you shaking your head now, but
my friend zone don't look like that though. It may be somebody that I connected with, but we determine, okay, I don't want to take it further than this. He's not the one. But I don't kick him to the curb because maybe we have stuff in common, good conversation, business purposes, whatever it may be. So I don't fully get rid of him because he's my friend, but we're not progressing to that other level. But now
like Derek just said, listen, he just said, like what he just said, he just sitting there floating in that friend zone. I guarantee you, if you text them about 10 o'clock tonight talking about what you doing, let me roll up, let me pull up.
But then that would be me taking him out of a place he ain't supposed to be taken out of. I don't do that to my friend.
So in essence, you answer your own question. What's the difference between the friend and the friend zone? You determine what feels right and what doesn't. That's the difference. And if both of y'all agree that y'all want to go to the next level, then you're something else. If not, you're either gonna be their friend or you're gonna be like, yeah, this dude gonna still try to hit. I don't even know if I could be his friend. Let me go ahead and just let him know that we can't talk because I can't do it. A lot of y'all can't do that. Y'all like to keep that dude there because he cool and all that, and he's a nice guy. He's he wasn't really mean to me, but nah, that dude. Let me tell you something. This is what I'm gonna be honest with you. When I was out there back in I always like to say way back in the day, I used to tell women when I was dating them, we can be friends. I know that's what you want, but that's a temporary place. I will never see you like a friend. When you walking away, I'm looking at your ass. We're not going to be Scrabble friends and Monopoly friends. I see you this way. So you have a decision to make because I'm right here. And I give them the choice. Most people won't give you that choice.
No.
They'll be like, yeah, I'll be your buddy. Let's play Monopoly. Nah, he's still given the opportunity. And a lot of women will, not all, a lot of women will pretend like they don't have one of them on the side. I talk to a lot of them. They like when they're asking me, should I go out dating? Am I ready to date? And I'm like, did you clean everything up before you go out there? And they like, well, it's this one that I want to keep though, because just in case. And I'm like, you said you're trying to find a husband. You can't have unresolved stuff because that energy's different. You got to be clean. Even when it doesn't feel, I'm lonely. So what? That's when you're supposed to push harder. When you have these few, he's just a friend. He's just around, but I know he want more. And I slept with him a couple times. You can't. And there's a and I don't know how true it is, but there's a poll or whatever they did. They were saying like 50% of women got a backup plan.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Y'all may not be in that 50%, but it's true.
Thanks. Thanks for putting that out there that we may not be in the 50. Now we ain't in the
50. Y'all are good, upstanding women. Women folk, like the old people say, women folk.
Women folk. Oh my God. Thanks.
So just to recap, you determine what it is. It's not about what it should or should not be. It's about, like I said earlier, what you're willing to deal with and what you're not willing to deal with. You determine that. Not the other person. Y'all may make a mutual agreement together, but that's what it is. And if you feel uncomfortable, then you owe it to yourself to detach yourself, no matter how nice they are, no matter how much you enjoy going out for drinks and hanging out. Your energy, you gotta protect your peace and your energy. What's gonna happen when you meet a dude? They gonna be sitting in the corner like, you sure you like him? It's y'all know. Come on, man.
Right. You spitting. I had to deal with that shit all my life. I had to deal with that shit, and that's why I won't deal with it. If I get that vibe, I tell them quick. It's either me or him.
Interesting.
Because that's just like women's intuition. Men had the same thing. Men had the same intuition.
Yeah. I mean, I guess people do. Some people just don't tap into it per se. But that's just like that. Like, for instance, Derek, I hear this a lot. The guys get to on a pedestal, and they get to hollering that women don't date nice guys. The nice guys don't get attention, or nice guys finish last. I've seen some nice guys or what on Facebook or in public look like a nice guy, and then you turn around, oh, this guy ain't nice. He got some issues over here. But to everybody, he's a nice guy. You should give him a chance. This. But them flags be going off like left and right because the people don't know that guy past what's put out.
So you're talking about two different things, right?
Yes.
Nice guys finish last is one thing, and then the other thing is people that are predators or players pretending to be nice. Two different things, right? Because the first one isn't a malicious person. They just not the person that you're choosing because maybe women think they too nice or whatever. But here's the thing, what a lot of women won't say, and I'm saying women because I'm not y'all, so I'm speaking from a different perspective. What a lot of women will say is, or you have this trope about nice guys finishing last. It's not about nice guys finishing. Y'all want the nice guy to be a certain type of dude. You don't just want it like you'll say, I want a nice guy. No, you want a nice guy that's 6'2", that's the skin color you want. That's the nice guy that you want. If you really wanted a nice guy, he ain't gonna look like that probably. He may love the hell out of you. He may not be that guy. He may be like you women. This is what y'all do. Y'all could be 5'3" and say you won't date a guy under 6'5", and the dude could be 6 foot tall, and you be like, he ain't tall enough for me. Oh, y'all know I'm right. And I'm like, but you're 5'3" though. Like, what do you? Want a nice guy, or you want? And people can have their preferences, but come on, women be a whole 45 years old talking about I can't find nobody, and I'm like, no, you can't find a 6 foot. Do you know how small of a pool 6'5" man is on the planet Earth?
Yeah,
that's not the average height for a man.
No, not at all. So
you're searching for a small pot, and he's got to fit you too. But if he's 6'3", no, I can't do it. So you have to have it in context, right? Because if the man you want isn't the nice guy, and you say, well, nice guys finish last, I'm gonna go for him anyway because I like toxic, right? Right? You're gonna go for that. The nice guys will finish last because they don't even have a chance. Because there's these things that people like, right? Well, he doing too much. He done bought me flowers and it's all that stuff that y'all say y'all want, but then it ain't forceful and toxic enough for you. So I'm gonna go ahead. He too nice. He too nice. He doing too much. He doing all the stuff that, maybe I might have liked it when I was like 20, but now I need some I need some DMX in my life.
So not DMX, yeah, like, Lord.
Y'all know. Come on, y'all know. I'm gonna tell you. Let me give you like a 60-second story time. I went out on a date with this woman, right? First date, and we had many conversations before the first date, right? Everything cool, and she was like, and I'm doing all the, I'm doing my gentleman thing. So I'm doing the date, right? And she's like, Derek, you're a really nice guy. She was like, but I need you, or I need the man I'm with. I need to know and be afraid of him. Like I don't want you to hit me, but I want to know that if you felt like you had to, you would, because I want to feel that. And I was like, huh? So you want me to get close enough to the point where I might hit you and then pull back? That's the dude you want? And I was like, but that's the thing, right? It's a lot of people out here that won't settle for less than that. And then they'll say he was too nice. No, he just didn't meet the bar of beat your ass. So it's like, come on, like, now, yes, there are a lot of men out here that are extremely passive and it's not really sexy to you, yes. But there's a bunch of them in the middle that's not getting chosen because whatever, the dude making 60K and he got to make 100K or else, like.
Oh.
Boy, you starting to sound like Kevin Samuels. You better watch yourself.
Nah, hell no. Don't do that.
No, he don't.
Like that.
Hell no.
No, sir. No, he don't. No.
But I will say this about him. What he's not wrong about is there are a lot of women out here that will have that criteria, and they think that is supposed to be.
That's what I meant. I'm not talking about the other part.
Yeah. That the only type of guy they're gonna date, they have to make 100K. And I'm like, you know how many dudes out here that's making decent money? They're an electrician or a plumber, or they making like 75K, and you like, nah, I'm good.
And they making 20K. Like, come on.
Yeah, like.
Yeah.
Like, I will never. I understand. You know, people want to feel like they taken care of, but there's some real good dudes out here that's working their ass off, and they good fathers, and they taking care of their family, and they getting overlooked.
Yeah.
So that just sparked another. We talking about salaries and stuff, right? Money and stuff like that. So let me ask you this. This is my thought process. If you are struggling financially, and what I mean by struggling, like don't have a job, behind on bills, cars like a half a payment away from getting repossessed, I don't think you should be trying to date anybody. I think you should be trying to get yourself together to move forward, to do stuff. But a lot of people say that should not stop them from looking for love or companionship. I feel that situation pushes you into the wrong pool that you want to be in, because you might have that guy who has a lot of money, this and that, start paying for stuff. Now he flips the script, and now he feels like he owns you. What are your thoughts on that?
So we're gonna split this in two. So under the conditions that you just said, I would think that person should not date, and they need to get themselves together. And here's why. Let's say that this person or the woman that guy meets, or whoever it is, however you want to flip it, they're dating with the purpose of possibly getting married one day. They're dating with intent. What you have shown is that you have poor judgment, poor money management, and this is how you're going into a relationship that you're supposed to be able to be in a household and manage things, right? Especially as a man. You're coming in with car about to be repoed on day one. That's not a good look. And you also have to look at the woman that sees that and she thinks it's cool and sexy. And this is what I always tell people. Are you picking your partner with your trauma?
Ooh, yes.
And not your logical, like, discerning mind? Because especially after you're a certain age, you should not be looking for projects. Mm-hmm. Because now you got stuff to lose. You might have a kid. You're going to inherit all of that on day one. That's not a good look if you're looking for a man to lead the household and all of that. He's already showing you. But unfortunately, there's a lot of women that make this choice because they're lonely. And then later on, they find out that choice wasn't that good. And that's why I hate this. I'm going to say this name one more time, and then I promise you I won't say it. Kevin Samuels. He always says, if you can choose it, when you sleep with a man that you think might make a good husband, or that he has those qualities. And then a lot of times, even if you are in or not in a relationship, at least the caliber of man is a man that's going to stick in and do what he got to do. A lot of times people don't, there are a lot of situations where you don't know he might end up being a deadbeat. But most of the time, it's that toxic D. And you just like, oh shit, I'm pregnant. And then the person be like, well, were y'all together? And you be like, nah, he wasn't worth being with. That's the path to a deadbeat dad. Like I don't and men do it. I mean, it works both ways. We have a society where there's a lot of single mothers, so I have to frame it a certain way.
Right.
It's a lot of dudes out there that they not equipped to be nobody's daddy. They not equipped to be a husband. They not equipped to be in a long-term relationship, but it feel good. You got to think. You have to date based on what you need versus what feels good today, because it doesn't always pan. The feel good today doesn't always pan out. But if you vet someone based on their thought process for the future and they show you actionable steps that's who they really are, follow that. If you end up with a baby, you be like, well, at least I know he's a stand-up dude because we didn't have these discussions. And the other thing I want to talk about too, real quick, is people will say, well, what if he lies? If he lies, you hold that as his word. He's a grown man. If his actions don't match up, then bounce.
Man,
it's that simple.
That part.
So when people are like, well, these players, they be lying to me, I'm like, yeah, but if you ask, like, you're a grown woman, it's some things you care about. You might have a kid, you got stuff to lose. Hey, sir, are you the Marion type of dude? Or you? And if he says, why are you asking me about this? We just talk. No. You 40. What is it? Don't even have to be about me. Are you marriage minded?
Yeah.
And then if he says, yes, I'm marriage minded. So 3 months down the line, if it's not going, growth. Oh crap, I got a title. No, I'm not ready for titles. I don't even want to do that. Hold on, sir. You said you like me, right? It's 6 months now. What are we doing, right? And why you asking me what are we doing? We was just chilling. No, sir, it doesn't match up. So let's say you lost 6 months. That's better than 5 years. You lose 3 months. You lose 2 weeks. The behavior has to match the words or it's not worth your time. And you have to literally, and I always tell the story about my wife. My wife was like, I don't have to be here, sir. So keep on. If you want to, let me know what you want to do. I don't have to be here. And she was serious. Like, I will leave. It's how many months it is? 6. I can leave. I got things to do. And I was like, damn. Okay, let me. Hold on. Don't leave yet. Let me. I still want to be here. You have to be willing to leave.
Yeah. And just to throw this little break off in there, because I kind of know that little background history with you and Alicia. Can you tell, especially with dating, as we were talking about the internet, can you tell them how you met Alicia?
Oh. I don't know how old your audience is, but Black Planet.
Damn,
but here's
bro.
the thing, right? Here's the thing. This is how it ended up working. She was at a point in her life where she was by herself and she purged herself of the trash. I was probably about 98% there. I purged all the trash. I wasn't talking to anybody, but I was like, when I would be out and people would be talking, women, and they'd be like, hey, and I'd be like, hey, and I'd be like, wait, I can't. I got things to lose. You're not coming over my house tomorrow. And when I had those boundaries, like men, yes, you can have boundaries too.
Yes.
When you start being able to say no to things that normally tempt you, that's a superpower for a dude. Yes. So I was at that point. So when I met her, it wasn't like, hey, how you doing? Let me, whatever. It was like, hey, I like your page. And she was like, hey, I like your page. And then we started having general dialogue, but we didn't have all the stains to distract us from getting to know each other. And it just progressed from there. So it was, for me, it was a lesson in knowing that you can effectively get to know someone when you got all of this stuff lingering, because now your attention isn't focused where it's supposed to be. And we progress from there. No, nothing is perfect, but we had the foundation, keyword of foundation, of respecting each other and knowing that we didn't have none of that other trash distracting us. And I think a lot of people, when they try to get to know you, they try to go all, especially now, they go all in. They don't ask the questions. Like we literally had like discussions about what we wanted and all of that. When you just hanging out and you situationshipping, there's no accountability. This is what people do now. I want to guarantee that I won't get hurt. So let's not use titles. Let's not even call it a date, because you might hurt me. So I'm not even going to go past a certain point. We just going to exist. We're going to sleep together. We're going to go out. You're going to meet my mama, but we can't talk about being a title, because then the title makes it like more than the hanging out. So if we go past a point, you might hurt me. I know what that feels like. So let me step back. But then they end up getting hurt anyway, because you got an emotional tie with a dude for a year. So if you're going to spend the time, make it count.
Yes.
I know it feels good. I know you like, hey, I got somebody, he didn't order me some chicken wings from the whatever, and we sitting and we watching Netflix, but y'all been doing that for 2 years.
Ooh.
Like, what do you because you don't want to be heard. But then when you say, well, damn, we've been here for 2 years, like, what are we doing? And he's like, remember the first date when I told you I wasn't looking for a relationship? That's a trump card that they can pull out at any time. And you can't do shit but be like, damn, you know what, you're right. You can't be like, but you've been in my house every week for the past year. Like, what? No. Remember I told you? And if he says, I don't want anything, right, in the beginning, and then he says, so instead of going to Fridays, why don't you just come over my house so we can chill? And you say, yes. If you're a relationship-minded woman, you just fucked yourself. On day one, you just signed a non-verbal contract saying, I accept the fact that you don't want a relationship, and I'm going to keep going forward. Now, he gets to come back any given time and say, remember that? You signed up for it. We've been chilling for the past 5 weeks. How dare you ask me to take you out on a date now? You done set the tone. It's not.
And I get that, because I was going to ask you that you keep hitting on one of the things that I was going to ask about how important is titles. But you kind of already hitting on it. Like,
here's the thing, right? Because it's 2021.
Yes, it is.
You don't even necessarily have to have a title, but you absolutely need growth.
Yes.
Right? If you plan on being with a person, right? For a lot of people, the title means that we have progressed past a certain point. You can still progress past that certain point, but it has to be something that you guys discuss. This is what we're gonna do. We're not gonna talk to other people. Cool. Because some people, the title means you're not talking to nobody else. So if we don't do the titles, then you have the option to do what you want to. But if you have professed yourself and said, I'm not going to talk to other people, and both of y'all agree that you don't need a title to know that, then keep it moving. But a lot of people don't do that. They just be like, we don't have a title, single. I can do what I want. But I don't want you to sleep with nobody though. But we don't have no title. Like it sounds
that's what
so
I was about
simple.
to hit on. That's exactly what I was about to hit on.
Yeah,
it's the trickery, and this is why I say, if it doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel right. If somebody say we not gonna do no titles, so I can do what I want, but I don't want you to do. You sign up for that, then you get what you deserve. You want to play these games, you're gonna get some real prizes later. Like, it's not a lot of times you end up with a whole baby. Cause you trying to figure out, well, maybe, something can happen one day. No, he told you up front. That's the thing. A lot of men are gonna tell you up front they don't want nothing. So if you sitting at home with your girls talking about, I want to get married one day, I'm trying to find me a husband. How? How can you do that? Living your life like this? It's impossible. Cause you lonely? People got to learn how to sit at home, put your feet up, get your little whatever the little buzzy thing you got, and get it in, and get it in. You know, your bedroom might sound like a barber shop, but you ain't dealing with no drama. Pick a struggle. That's all I'm saying.
I
you gotta pick a struggle. You gotta like. I know it's tough for people, but you gotta learn how to exist and be happy with nothing. Watch your little shows, knit a sweater, do what you gotta do, and be cool with that. And know that I'm gonna still continue to put myself out there. And if something happens, I'm gonna vet that person and make sure that they qualified. And if they not, I'm leaving because I already know what peace feels like.
I think that's the big word right there. That's a big word, peace. Because I feel and have seen and experienced a lot of people don't truly know what peace is. Like, not just peace, a peace of mind, a piece of just peace, like being by yourself and being truly happy with it.
That's why I made this.
Yep.
That was a T-shirt that I made. We talked about I had to retire it, but those are words I live by.
Yeah, facts. Me too.
Especially like me as a man, when I had my place and I was chilling, every time I would go out and meet a chick, I'm like, she got the potential to blow my phone up. She got the potential when she come over my house, she gonna keep trying to. You're not gonna mess up. Like I'm not. Does she qualify? Here's the thing. Don't allow people access to things they haven't qualified for. That's your home, that's your kids, that's your body, that's your time. You gotta earn my time. So if the phone conversation don't go well, you're not going to see me in person. You're not. You gotta have different. It's just like a video game. You gotta beat the level before you get to the next one. You have to do that.
Yes.
So speaking of beating the level.
Yeah.
You have to. You gotta have barriers in place so that you don't get hurt. It's not a guarantee, but you're gonna block a whole bunch of trash, and the quality of people that fit through there is going to start looking better and better. And maybe one day that better and better becomes the person. But even if it doesn't, let's say you never meet the person, you don't have a whole bunch of trash and trauma going over 10 years because you didn't erect the boundaries. That's the whole point of the boundaries. It's not for you to find the one. It's for you to make sure that you don't get crushed so that when the one does might magically appear, you ain't trash yourself. And here's the thing. If you are in that state when that person that's supposed to be with you meets you and they accept you that way, you're going to destroy him. And guess what he's going to become? A predator. You just created a whole player because you destroyed that good man because of your trauma. And it works both ways. That's the cycle.
A monster. Yep. Oh, boy.
I'm a card-carrying member. I was crushed, and everybody got it after that. Because I was trying to be too nice and give you everything you want. And they was like, nah, I need this other type of dude. And I'm like, but you knew who I was up front. And then they cheated and did all of this stuff. And then the next one did the same thing. I was like, wait, I'm not going to let nobody else do this to me. Matter of fact, I'm going to make sure that you don't do anything because I'm going to get you first. Babies aren't born this way. We're created. Like, you'd be like, oh, he a player. You go back in the player history. Somebody heard that dude in the past.
You preaching it. Why are you talking?
Here's the thing, right? And I had to come to this revelation over the past. Like, I literally, like, because I'm an engineer, I'm mapping it through, and I'm like, and I'm looking at my own life. I'm like, so I destroyed a whole bunch of women along my path because I was hurt. Now these women have to be somebody's mama. They got to be somebody's girlfriend. They might destroy another dude. A dude might destroy them. You put two of these together, they have a kid. That kid got the trauma, and they haven't even been on a date.
Yep.
And then the cycle just continues. So now that woman can say, well, this man hurt me and I'm hurt, so I'm going to hurt somebody else. That somebody else then becomes the person that hurt you. So it's like the chicken and the egg. We got to stop hurting each other. That's the answer. Like if you get hurt, you got to sit back and be like, let me get myself together so I don't make somebody feel like me. We don't do that. We don't know how to translate those emotions, especially men. That's why you hear about men being players more than women, because we don't know how to deal with the emotions.
We're trained to deal with emotions. We weren't allowed to deal with emotions.
Right. What we're trained to do to make us feel better from a kid is to go sleep with somebody. Go see how many chicks you can get. You feel better. How many can you get? Get some more. So when we're in a state of duress and we're hurt, that's the go-to. Go to the club, find another chick.
Yep.
And you'll feel better. It's a Band-Aid.
That's all it is. That's all it is.
Think about that. It's people out here walking around that have gotten screwed over by somebody, and they don't even realize that they are so dysfunctional that they out there like, let me find somebody, and that other person could come in with good intentions, and you like, I'm a jealous person anyway, so you might as well deal with it. Hold on, man. And here's the other part. I know I'm going down the rabbit hole. Here's the other part.
Ahead.
Your toxic ass shows up. Somebody else falls in love with that. They fell in love with the toxic version of you and they like it.
Oh.
So that's the person that
Yes.
So when you decide to heal yourself, you go to therapy and you become a better person, they turned off now.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh.
Or like you don't even have to go to therapy. You don't even have to go to therapy. You just say, hey, this is not where I want to be. And you start making changes. Then you hear that phrase, oh, you different. You done changed.
Yep. Yep. Some people are so dysfunctional. I'm doing a show on that too about, it's funny that we talk about this. I'm doing a show about you seek out toxic relationships because that's the only way you can feel something.
Man, hello, you better stop. What? Hey, we need to break bread more often.
Man, I'm telling you, like,
that's what
we need to have these like a straight man show, like, yo, for real. Because like these are conversations that like not just for us old head. Well, I don't know how old you are, brother. I know I'm.
Yeah,
I got the salt on my face.
Than what I look.
I got the salt on my face because I was eating earlier. But this is the information we need to pass on to the little jits, like we call them in South Florida, the jits, and like, look, don't be going out there listening and wilding out to all this other stuff because you don't know how to express yourself.
Yeah, and that's why we, me and four other gentlemen, we created a show that we do on Monday called The Real Shop Talk, and we talk about all of this stuff from a male perspective.
And that is
we gotta pass this on. Like, how many of us grew up and somebody was like, one day you're gonna get hurt, and this is what it's gonna feel like, and you're gonna have to figure out how to resolve it because you don't want to pass that on. None of us got that.
No.
When I got hurt, I was like, damn it. What do I do? Oh, let me go find some other chicks. And then I was more afraid of being hurt by another chick that I wouldn't even let them get in to a certain point.
It was the opposite for me. I had my folk, like, when they found out I was hurt, man, go fuck her friend, go do this, go do that. I'm just like, okay.
Yeah. That's because that's what men are supposed to do, right?
Yep.
And we don't think about how I'm gonna take it somewhere real quick because I don't know how long your show is.
I don't know. We good. Go ahead.
Here's the thing, right? And I have a daughter now, right? And men get revelations when they have daughters, right? Here's the thing, right? The sheer number of women, Black women, who have trauma, who have been molested, who have had all of these things happen. We are now going out here with this behavior, go fuck her friend and do all this. You're now adding to the trauma of that person. Right. And you don't even, because it's so many, like, I didn't know how many, like, I'm sorry, but I didn't know how many of y'all was walking around here smiling, dealing with that stuff. And dudes is out here predator praying and we looking for the weakest link. You weak for a reason, right? Yeah. And so we're going to go double down, and you're going to get so traumatized from the childhood and the dudes hurting you that you're now going to keep seeking out trauma. Like, you're going to keep seeking out trauma bonds because you don't even know And I have to take responsibility. I was part of that problem. I didn't care about none of that stuff. I just wanted to hit. I just wanted to get some more extra hugs and kisses, and I didn't really give a damn about staying there. But you thought I was.
Yeah.
So in order for me to exit, I had to ghost you or I had to hurt you, so I can keep it moving. Because then it start looking like a relationship. Who wants that, right? Like that's how I was moving.
Yeah.
Rinse and repeat.
Yep. Anybody else got something? Because I got a question. I want to double back to something.
So I am gonna throw this out there. Like DW was saying, we need something like that. I have sent them the links to the podcast, Real Shop Talk, because Real Shop Talk is definitely my favorite podcast right now. And I watch, I follow your own personal podcast, even Gunter Man, because y'all drop some gems. Like, this is the most transparent podcast of men, where y'all are so transparent. Y'all put y'all's own stuff out there and the stuff that y'all did, and y'all admit the things that y'all done. And y'all together as a collective are trying to heal and help people heal. Yep. And that's one of the things I love about that, because you don't see men expressing y'all's expressing feelings. Y'all do that. I've seen y'all cry. When I think
it was some tears last week. It was some tears on the show last week. We talked about how boys are abused and how nobody ever talks about the boys that are abused. And we had a couple of gentlemen on the panel that actually went through that, and they literally was saying it on camera, and it, emotions come up.
It flowed in the comments with everybody in there, and that's why I love that podcast as a collective, because y'all have also brought a lot of us together. Like, we've become absolutely. We're part of the fold now with that group, which is how I got you on here tonight. So I love the connection and the love and the building, because last week everybody was ready to go fight everybody that hurt whoever that was on the comments. We was ready to go square up. So, but the comments and the topics that y'all have.
It's really about building a community of like-minded people exponentially. So, like, if you tune into the show and you like it, and then you say, Derek, come on my show. Once I'm on your show, now we family. Like, as long as you ain't doing nothing crazy, we family. Like, and so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say, hey, I want y'all brand to grow. I got 10 other shows that y'all can go on and push y'all stuff, and we gonna talk about all of this stuff and start to build it out, because people need to see it. When people see it, then they recognize themselves in it, and they're like, yeah, maybe I did exactly what Derek did, and this is what he did to get out of it. Maybe I need to go to therapy. Maybe I need to get, and it starts the people to thinking. Like, I get, like, just from the shows, just as a coach, people who would have never sought out help, they're like, yo, I need to be in your inbox, man, because dudes, grown men, I need to go home and talk to my wife different now, man. I never knew that she felt. We have women on the show. We have a ladies' night that we do every month and break, because we don't want to not include y'all. And it's powerful. And everybody has their own platforms and they're doing all their own stuff. But for some reason, these gentlemen and I, we only known each other for like 3 months. And you would think that we've been boys forever. And we just get it in. It just works. So this is that's
what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah, this is it's not about us. It's about the caring about other people and wanting other people to grow and wanting other people to get healed. And then when that person gets healed, then maybe that story will spark somebody else, and then it grows. Yes. So
most deaf. But DW, want to ask your question? You y'all got caught up in emotion.
Nah, he done made me spark another question. I'm gonna hit this question first. So you hit on it. Well, it's not even a question; it's a statement, because you hit on it when you say two toxic people get together, they have a child. Now that child is in a situation. So when saying that, this is how those generational issues come from, because then now you got that child in a situation like, where my daddy at? Well, your daddy was just fucking, or or whatever relationship it was, and we didn't work out. Then you had a mama talking about your daddy ain't shit, and then when the child go to the daddy, oh it's either your mama ain't shit, your mama a hoe, or they seeing your daddy with 4 or 5 different women. So he's thinking in the head like, this is how I'm supposed to operate. And so it's just looking at how it's spiraled downhill and create that generational curse that we talked about on our show a couple times.
Yeah.
It's pretty heartbreaking to know that kid, eventually maybe somewhere through life they may find correction, but they don't really even have a fighting chance from birth, dealing with all of this stuff. Like even like the things that I've learned just from the community that we're building and the guests that I have on my show, I never thought about a dad or a mom being in the house every day, but they're present, but they're not emotionally attached to their kid.
Yeah. Right.
And that has the same effect
of not being
someone who's not there at all.
Yep.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
You're like, well,
actually,
I'm there. No, you got to do more than being there.
I think it's worse. I think it's easier. Yeah. It's like that out of sight, out of mind versus you sitting there screaming like, hey, mommy, daddy, hey, I'm here, and they still ignoring you.
Yeah, because that was one of the things, the episode we had last week on sickle cell. Remember, Dana clearly said that she was in a marriage and they had 2 kids with both of them had sickle cell.
Mm-hmm.
He was there,
but wasn't there.
Yeah, he was there. He was absently present. He didn't do nothing with the girls or anything like that. So it's like,
it's heavy and it's deep, but I think we're trying our best to hit as many people as we can, because just in psychology, most of our issues come from childhood.
Yeah.
So
identity and everything, our identity, our habits, all that stuff come from childhood.
So we gotta, like I've said on a couple of shows, we gotta change how we see each other. Like we can't and I know it's a big mountain to climb, but if a man thinks every woman is a hoe, how do you even build a relationship off of that? You know what I mean? Like it's so many different, and vice versa. Now, like you got these black men versus black women wars on Clubhouse and all these other things, and they going at it, and it's like, it's your fault. No, it's your fault, and nobody's talking about how we fix it.
How to fix it?
Like, yo, like if y'all gonna fight, how do we build families? How do people even get together?
And here's the other part to add to that too. Guess who's watching?
There it is.
Yeah, guess who's sitting there watching this stuff? Yeah.
You have kids, and my daughter's one of them, that's like, marriage. Nah, we ain't nobody. You get a 21-year-old. What? My parents was divorced. Their parents was divorced. The hell I want to sign up for that for?
Right.
And I'm not saying everybody got to be married, but that's the thing. Like, I don't want anything that takes risk.
Ooh.
That's why people don't call dates anymore, because if you call it a date, then it looks like a thing. So we're going to say we're hanging out for a year.
Ooh.
Right? So
I'm glad you said that. So let me ask you this then. So when you said earlier and just a few minutes ago, talking about years, like 6 months, a year, 6 months, you're supposed to know what you're doing and everything. Is there a true equation for a time limit on a relationship? And the reason why I asked that question is there was a study done that said that the best con artists can lie up to 6 to 8 months.
Mm.
And the average person, the average child can lie up to 3 weeks. So when it comes to relationships, if somebody's been doing it for so long, been hustling and a player for so long, is it wise to put a time limit? Like, hey, at 6 months, we supposed to be here, this, versus 6 months and saying like everything that they said in the beginning is still what's going on in 6 months.
So I used to believe in timelines, but I think it's subjective to the individuals that are there, because some people are more mature than others, blah, blah, blah. So here's the thing, right? I'm not going to say 100%, but if you have somebody that's playing for 8 months, 6 months, let's say it's a guy, I can also show you in that same breath a woman with weak boundaries. That's what I teach. That's what I coach people on, because I was that guy, right? I coach people on how to detach when it's time to detach. And people who go through that for 8 months, 9 times out of 10, if you ask them, did something happen early? They're like, yeah, I knew that, but I wanted to see if it was going to work out. It was already, it was there, but we pushed through, and he did this other thing, but we pushed through. You now have effectively traumatized yourself. We always talk about people hurting themselves. We always talk about the other. You are now accepting the behavior. So did he play you for 6 months, or did you accept it for 6 months?
Wow.
It's not a 100%, because there's some good trained liars out here. But the best way to combat a liar is to not let them get away with shit. That's the whole purpose of a player, right?
Yeah.
Or a predator. It is my job as a predator to turn your emotions up so high that your logic disappears. And if I keep it up there high enough for a certain amount of time, I can get away with whatever the hell I want to. And you won't care, because you're emotionally attached.
Already attached.
When you should have been looking at my behavior logically in the beginning. Like, okay, we dating, it feels good, but this dude is only available after 11 p.m. on Wednesdays. Like, that don't even feel right. And then when you ask me, like, oh man, I'm just working so hard, I didn't have time to call you for 3 days. You interested though? Like, what? Like, it doesn't. The numbers don't match up. So what I always tell women, that when you call, let's say that if the dude disappeared for 3 days, don't call that dude and be like, hey, I haven't heard from you. Let it do its thing. And if you do talk to him, say, hey, you know what, sir? Not sure what you got going on, but that's not what I signed up for. So I'm gonna need you to lose my number, because I got shit to do. Because we live in an era where we have cell phone. Like, I used to hate when women used to say this to me. How long it take for you to send a text? 2 days? Like, wait, like 2 seconds? You can't even say. And I used to be like, no. My phone got ran over by a trash truck. No. And they'd be like, oh, I'm so sorry. Did you get a new phone? That's how you knew where their emotional weakness was. Because they was willing to accept the fact that you was missing just to have you. So now I can go missing again, because you've already let me know I can do it. Mm-hmm. And then 6 months later, you be like, I didn't know that he was playing me this whole time. Yes, he did.
The flip side. I'm gonna let that go.
We needed him for the cutoff culture, because that whole zombie ghosting, that's what.
Please have me back for that.
No excuses for that 3-day disappearance and come back.
One thing, wait. Say so. This just, I guess, this just me and my boundaries. Last time I checked, the shit works both ways. Like, the phone works both ways. It's not a bat phone. So, like, if you don't hear from me and you call them, I got it. Understand, get busy. Sometimes I forget. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't like talking on the phone any goddamn way. But anyway, so if you don't hear from me and you call them like, hey, that's for me, that triggers me like, oh shit, I'm sorry, I got caught up in blah 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 blah, and it'll make me put forth the effort to continue to be like, all right, let me keep them in the loop. Now, back to what you said, if it happens again,
So here's the thing, right? You can be genuinely concerned about somebody's well-being, right? Once you establish that, I still got a question. So here's the distinction. I'm just dating you, don't really know you. If I disappear for a couple of days, you really don't have the right to check me at that point. You can choose to disappear or not. If I, as the man, say, yo, I need me and you, I won't be here. It's been 2 months. I'm rocking with you. I love this. This shit feels good. You're going to want to hear from her every day. So when you choose to disappear, it's on purpose. When you make that profession, now your actions have to track to that. And I know people is like, I like my time, so I'm going, spend time for 3 days. You just told this person you was trying to build something with them. You really like them. Oh my God, man, did you the best woman I ever met, and I just can't. I need to. When I'm gonna see you again? That energy doesn't disappear for 3 days. You want some bullshit. And I know people are like, well, I just like to have my time. Hey, I just wanted to check on you, make sure you good. I'm chilling at the spot. I'll holler at you in 3 days. That's honest. But if you say, I'm just not going, no communication, nothing to the person that you say you trying to pursue, sir, what are we doing?
So I'm gonna throw this back at you. And I already know where it's gonna go, but I'm gonna see how you say it. So say you do that, right? You say, hey, I'm chilling, blah, 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 blah. Whatever, you send them a text. What if that triggers her to be like, all right, and she go left?
Then y'all don't need this. Then one or both of you need to detach.
Yeah.
Like, it's that simple. Like, if it doesn't feel good, get the fuck out. That's the answer. It's a simple math problem. But we push through it because we want somebody, or we like the way it feel when y'all everybody's sleeping together on date number 1 anyway. So you like, dang, that felt good. So I want to stay around. I know they disappeared, but shit, let me just.
So we create. So basically, like you said earlier, we creating that pattern.
That's why I always teach, if you stick to your boundaries, if you have a deal breakers, if they hit one of them joints, it's automatically out. It's when you go past that it no longer becomes their fault. It's your fault now. It's a you problem now because you keep accepting it and you know it doesn't feel good. So now you got to ask yourself, why am I attracted to the trauma? What's wrong with me? Why do I keep like he keep disappearing and I'm still going back and I don't like it? Can't really. If I tell him I like it, he gonna get mad. So let me
suck it up.
Yeah, like the fact that you are willing to feel like that early says more about you than it does about them.
Facts.
So
and that's when that should be a gut check for you to be like, I might need to chill out for a minute.
That part. So I'm gonna hit some of these comments because we done got deep and we got some on here. So Francine actually works at a jail, and she says, I have men disclosing their sexual trauma to me all the time. They usually not told anyone before, but I had two in the same night on Thursday. Dope discussions with Erica says some people are good at showing that they're representative for longer than others, but boundaries still need to, weed them out sooner. She also said inconsistency should be unattractive, and damn it is. Cut off. Also, some people are addicted to struggle love.
Because I used to get mad when, like, if I met you today, and then let's say we talked 2 or 3 times, and you had the expectation that I was gonna call you before I went to bed, and I done passed out on the couch, and the next day you cursing me. Oh my God, you must got another chick in there. Hold on, ma'am. I don't owe you shit after 3 phone calls and a date or 2. We not doing that. That don't even feel right to me. But if I'm the dude that's saying, yo, it's you, I'm going to pursue you. Like, I need this in my life. I got to lock this down because I don't want nobody else to have it. That dude doesn't disappear for 3 days. There's no human being on the planet that could convince me that that's okay. I can't even check and say hi, nothing, no text, nothing. I'm just gone.
No good morning text.
Nah. And we know how bullshitty the WID and the GM and all that shit is. But if you're not even doing that, you up to something. Like I said, we're gonna talk about, if y'all come on the Real Shop Talk, we doing like trending topics, but one of the topics is that these people that get married and they live apart but they together. I don't know if you ever heard about this.
I don't understand that
because they want their own space, but they still want to have a marriage.
Yes.
So I get that people want their own space, but the non-communication is a problem.
Yeah,
that's an open marriage. Like, that's all it is. Like,
a lot of people doing it though.
That's called stay single.
Crazy. That's called what they call it, financial stability.
But it's two different households. So how is it financial stability when you paying all bills over here and you have another place with all bills over here?
If something happens to one of them people, that other person gets both households versus it going to somebody random. I'm just saying what I was told. That hey, don't look at me like I'm crazy. I'm just saying, explaining the way it was explained to me.
And it's a lot of people out here, like, now the independent woman and all, they like, yo, I've been doing this so long for myself. I like my space. I don't need nobody up in here laying all up on me. I want him to go, but I still want him to be my man though.
Yeah, just stay dating. That's just don't even, because even like one of the articles I read, the girl also said that the guy, her husband, does not have free access to her home. He still got to call before he come by.
Hell no.
Like, they
crazy.
To the no. Hell to the no.
So it's like, why get married? I'm confused.
I'll be like, left eye and burn that bitch down.
It's a lot, man. Like all of this stuff we talk about, it's a whole big ass calculus problem, man. But it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be.
No.
You know what? I'm gonna say this. Real quick. I like your thought process, and I can see how you're an engineer because you take pieces and build. So yeah, I like your thought process. It's refreshing, actually.
Thank you.
So,
you know what it is too. It's like, and I wasn't always like this, but the reason why I'm like this is because when I got hurt before I turned into that other guy, one of the things that I needed to do was I needed to be able to assess everything to make sure that I saw you coming. So I'm looking at your word choices. I'm looking at your movements. What's making you laugh? I'm going hard like that because I was so afraid to be hurt. And over time, I started doing it subconsciously. And I'm thinking it to myself, like I just got out of this argument with, let's say, a girlfriend at the time, and we didn't had about 4 or 5 of them. But now I don't even want to be around. Like I don't even want her in my space because that shit hurt. And then I'm like, but I couldn't say it. So, because women, y'all know a lot of times y'all will do stuff that will emasculate us, so we got to eat it if we want to.
Say that again.
We got to eat it.
Say that.
We can't tell you that because then we look weak.
Go back to what you said.
And here's the thing. There's so many men, and I see them on these forums all the time. It don't take but maybe one time for them to be vulnerable and it get used against them, and no one ever would get it for the rest of it. It's not logical, but this is how it works. And then you like, my man won't tell me how he feels. Somebody destroyed that at one point. It don't have nothing to do with you. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. I'm a good wife. But he just won't share with me. Something was broken. It's not you.
Women, and I said the exact same thing. I don't know what show it was. Women will weaponize a man's feelings. Soon as shit don't go the way they wanted to, oh, you blah 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 blah, and then, oh, that's how you feeling?
Yeah,
and that's it.
It's a lot. That's why I always try to tell women, especially, you may not get what you want out of him, but you got to give him a safe place to land.
Yes.
You don't give them a safe place to land, that detachment is that gap is going to be so wide that you're not going to get anything. And sometimes the answers you want are nonverbal, right? You have to look at like I always talk about the behavior. If he come home every day and he gotta sit down for a minute, he might be dealing with some stress. He might be dealing with some anxiety, but he's not gonna be like, baby, I got anxiety. He might be like, I'm gonna handle it now. Well, you didn't take the trash out. What's wrong with you? Now you sound like my mom. So guess what I'm gonna do? I don't want to sleep with my mom. Like the tone. I'm the tone police. I'll be like, hold on. wait, bring it down. Hold on. I do that at work with my boss. I'm like, hold on, dude. Like we work together. Like I need you to bring it down to a 2, please. Yeah. Because if you don't, it's a whole nother thing. Like, come on.
Yeah. That part.
And dudes, men, when you combat us in that way, the only way we know how to do might not be physical, is to fight our way out. And fighting my way out might mean I'm gonna holler at you later. I'm going out for a drive. I'm about to go to the club. I'm about to go hang out with my boys. And you like, dang, you hanging out with your boys a lot. Talked about this earlier. All of that comes from a place.
Yes. And the sad part and here's the flip side to that. The sad part about it, other women see that shit.
Yeah.
Other women see that. Oh, he may love you to death and be happy as shit. That one argument, that other female out there like, oh, I ain't never seen him here. Why is he here? Then she get the whole story. Oh, she ain't treating you right.
That's so here's the moral to the story, right? The moral to the story is we talked about non-judgmental communication earlier, right? The moral to the story is you should allow and you should be allowed to be yourself, flaws and all, inside your home and work that shit out, even if it means that criticism hurts a little bit. If it comes out and it's delivered in love, then I'll feel safe to continue. If it doesn't happen that way and I cannot be myself, when I'm with my boys, I can be me. When I'm at the club, people see the real me.
Yeah.
When I come home, yes, dear, whatever you need me to do, you the boss. Yep, okay, I got it. It's a mask. On the outside, you like, my husband love me. He does all this stuff. Yes, whatever. Yeah, what you need me to do? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm not myself. I'm a functioning robot at this point. Because whatever that thing was that hurt me, the argument, whatever, I now have to become a master of trying to figure out what triggers you to do that. And I got to work my way. I'm dodging all of that stuff. Now I have to create my whole character just to make sure you don't go off.
Yeah.
And when I have to do that every day, imagine, here's an analogy for you. When you put on like a Halloween costume and it might have a wig and a mask and all of this stuff, you wear that thing too long, what's going to happen? It's going to get hot. You're like, damn. I remember this one time I played that character from this old movie called The Last Dragon, and I played Sho'nuff, and I had this wig on. In the sweat. I was like, how do women wear wig? Like, this is hot. And I was like, like when people are in relationships, you got to think about it. I'm only talking about men because I'm a man. I got to wear that mask every day in my house. It's going to get hot.
Yeah.
I got to take it off. I can't take it off in front of you because you might yell at me. I'm going to go outside and take it off. It feels good to be outside. Hey, sir, I like that suit you got on. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, that feel good. Let me go outside again. Damn. Hey, you wanna, you look hungry. You want to go out to eat? I'll pay. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I got to go home. Nigga, the trash was due to get. She not thinking about the past 105 times that you took the trash out on time. So now you taking it personal. Now, when you say you didn't take the trash out, listen to the language here. This is for some people, this may be a learning point. You ain't take the trash out versus, baby, the trash needs to be taken out.
Yeah.
One of them sounds like an attack on me, the person. The other one is a duty that the household needs to be done. When you attack me, the person, fuck you. What? I'm gonna take this shit out to shut you up, but we not. Come on, no, you sound like my mama now. Yeah. So I'm doing this like this on purpose because people need to understand that words hurt, tone hurts, even to a grown ass alpha male man that you thinking he don't like that shit.
and it's worse. It's worse when you have like you said, an alpha male, because they quick to pop off. Oh, that's what you're doing? All right, got you. Yep. And then you're like, why are you treating me like this? You started it. Yeah. See, y'all thought I was lying when I was telling y'all all that shit. Now.
But see, these are the things why we do shows like this and we do all these, because people need to hear this stuff. Relationships will change overnight just from that one thing, how you talk to them. Yeah. You change that whole shit changes. The whole trajectory of your relationship changes if you learn how to talk to each other.
Yeah.
Period.
Definitely.
Because a lot of times the behavior that you hate comes from that. Cheating, staying out too much, not being attentive to you. It comes from like, oh, he not paying attention to me. He don't want to spend. Think about the last 100 arguments you had. Like, were they, you know, like, was you yelling? Were y'all yelling at each other? Was it hurtful? That shit comes from people don't just fall head over heels in love and get married, and then the next day they be like, fuck you. Some shit doesn't happen in between.
Yeah.
And then
correction,
like,
not all people. Correction, not all people.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that.
You got some of them Mr. and Mrs. Smiths running around here.
Yeah. But then again, that goes back to the point I made earlier. Some people just don't need to be together. And that's an assessment too. But people, like I said, two people who genuinely love each other, and you be like, oh, they and now we know people put on, you know, shows or whatever on social media, but two people who honestly, genuinely love each other, once you start adding in that extra stuff, I said this earlier, like and then that doesn't mean that your relationship will fail. You got to come to a point, and sometimes you need a third party to come in and let you see what it really looks like. You can come to a point where you be like, damn, I didn't know me walking away like made your abandonment issues pop up. I didn't know me talking to you in this tone. We need to figure that out. And if they figure that out and they start respecting each other more, then the shit just changes everything. So now that path to divorce looks like two people that really are growing closer together now because they learn how to communicate better.
Yeah.
It be those. That's why I call it relationship gumbo, because it just be that one little. It be like a little thing to change, and the whole thing changes just from that. If people went to like I never was a proponent for premarital counseling, but now, damn it, I am. It's about getting the tools, because I was like, we in love, we good. What the fuck? What do we need that for? We ain't gonna go sit with somebody. We've been together for this amount of time. We know each other. So what the hell? Nah, I know you don't. You don't have the tools for that thing that's going to happen later.
Yeah.
So when it comes up, you can be like, remember that thing that we learned? Yeah, you're going to hold this water bottle. And while you holding the water bottle, I ain't going to say shit. And then when it's my turn, and there's so many different things. And if both people agree that that's what you're going to do, because you know you pop off, hey, you can't pop off while I'm holding this. And you're going to hear me out. Yeah. And then I'm going to allow you to hold it too, and I can't say shit, and I can't be judgmental, and then we're going to come to a happy medium, because we can't hurt each other, or it's going to start to look like it used to.
Yeah, love that. You
kind of hit on something. I want to ask you a question. Do you believe, well, I shouldn't say that. We know that in the heat of, it's not even the heat of battle, I shouldn't say battle, in a conversation, there's two types of people to listen to understand, and people who listen to rebut.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody's listening to rebut, how do you get that person to listen to understand? Or is that a conscious decision that they need to make?
It's a habit that can be untrained, right? And the way you untrain it is do something similar to what I just did with the water bottle, right? If you know that that's how that person is, then you have to erect things in there to kind of almost force them to listen. Like, you can't talk while I'm talking. Like, on month 6, this is how we're going to create the rules of engagement. Because I know we had these conversations. I know what kind of argue. We had a little spat with. You like to run. You like to listen. You don't like to listen. You like to respond. That doesn't feel good when you do that, because I feel like you're not listening to me, right? And then you can say, I know that you've been doing this probably most of your life, and it's not going to be easy for you to change or try to build compromise. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to come up with this way. There's a certain room in the house that we're going to go in that room, and in that room, we can't judge. Yes. We can't, this room right here, this is territory for me to share with how I feel. And you just going to have to, and sometimes the shit that they say is some stuff that you might get triggered by. You know, motherfucker come in there and be like, babe, I just want to let you know your breath stink. And you be like, nigga, what? What? But if it's true, you should be able to eat that, because you know that person loves you.
Yeah.
Instead of in this room, you can't do that in this room. Like, it's so many different ways that you can do this, because once you start on the path of doing a bunch of stuff to hurt each other, then the resentment starts to build up.
Yep.
And now I don't want to fuck with you. Now we sleeping in different bedrooms. Now we doing all this other craziness because we still, years later, haven't sat down and said, yo, this, like, how we gonna fix, like, this, the argument thing? Like, we doing it a lot now. Like, how do we get past that? Like I said, sometimes you won't have the answer. Sometimes you gotta have the balls to say, we need somebody else to show us how to do this, because this ain't working. That's the thing to do.
I'm gonna get a room and put boxing gloves in it. That's what we're gonna do. Yeah.
Whatever you, and here's the thing, that might be an acceptable thing if you get some real big boxes. Your woman might be that chick.
Yeah,
whatever works.
Yeah, you're right. She might have some hands.
Like I said, I'm nobody's judge. Certain people, that's what it is. But then, you know, like the other part of my brain says that looks like a man throwing, you know, that right there, that could trigger some other shit. So I don't know.
That's what I was about to say. She might,
like, my wife, as soon as that hand go up, she like, nigga, you want to die or not? Like, come, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So I have one question that was just sent in to me before we close. So this person asked, when you're getting back into the dating scene and you meet somebody and things are going good, how do you know that you're really feeling the person versus the person feeling a void?
Oh,
that's a good question, because that line is very thin, right? And most of the time when people are feeling a void, it's because they haven't spent enough time figuring out, like, where they are in this. A lot of void fillers, they date quick after a breakup. A lot of void fillers, they dive in real fast because they need that void to be filled now. You know how these people, they can't be by themselves. They break up and they, like, 2 weeks later, they on Instagram like, this my new man. Ooh. You're filling a void, right? So it's really about the behavior. And again, this is where the boundaries come in. Even for yourself. Am I rushing in too fast? Why do I feel like I got to go in, like, in 2 days? Like, what? You have to be, and again, you might need to talk to somebody to figure all of this out. However, you have to be in command of who you are and what you want. So when you go in, none of that stuff slips to the side. There's no such thing as perfect. But if you know, like, you know how these people say, I love fast and I love hard and all of this stuff, and for love at first sight. If you know that's you, then when you go into a situation like that, you got to control the pace. I don't want to go down that path again. You got to know that about yourself. And if you don't, that's your signal to say, I might not be ready yet. And it's okay to not be ready. It's okay to not be ready. It's okay to try to figure some things out. But if you just diving in because you're lonely or whatever, because you get, like, to the point of what you just said, with things are going along, seem like they're going along fine. We know when we diving in fast and when we not. We know this, but we don't acknowledge it because we feel like we feel it. That's why I said that line is thin for a lot of people, because most of us aren't ready. So out of all of those people that are not ready, how do you determine if that person has evolved to the point of having an effective relationship, or are they just riding the line because, and sometimes it works for people, right? There's anomalies out here that it works for, but if it's going good and it doesn't hurt, it might work. There's people who have been broken, who have been in relationships, and they figured it out along the way, and it ends up being this beautiful thing. So I'm not saying don't date. I'm saying use your discernment, use your boundaries, and if it doesn't feel good, red flag. If it feels good and that other person is being consistent in their behavior and what they're doing, and you're not triggered because you might have some trauma or whatever, then keep it pushing. You don't see anything wrong, I'm not gonna call foul if there's no foul. It might work out. See, I'm not the type of coach that's gonna tell you leave or stay, but I'm gonna give you about 20 different perspectives, and I need you to pick one because whichever one fits you, that's the path you need to go. And if it doesn't work, I gave you 20. Pick another one. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out. That's the engineer in me. I don't give up. Like if there's something wrong, I'll be like, wait, let me go research and figure out how, because I'm gonna get to the goal. If you have a goal and you determine to get there, let's say your goal is marriage, is your behavior tracking to that goal? Dang, I slept with him on the first. Now, people have been in 90-year relationships and they slept on the first night. But if you know you easy like that, you might want to pump the brakes a little bit and say, let me see if this dude actually liked me first. Because I have a goal. Are they showing me consistent behavior before I give it up? Nobody say 90 days. But damn it, ask some questions. Like
that part.
Figure out if that person is about what they talking about. And it may take some time. Oh, well, go get your What Buzzy toy. Do what you got to do. But you have to be in command of you getting yourself to that goal. You have that. The other person has their own responsibility, but let's say that they don't take their responsibility. Let's say they are an asshole. You still control you. Hey, asshole, I just realized you're an asshole. Gotta go. You control that.
Yeah.
I know you've been trying to hit it all this time, and I want you to, but damn it, dude, you pressing me harder than it's comfortable for me. Slow the fuck down. Nah, I want it now. Okay, sir, you're starting to sound a little aggressive. That's not, I gotta go. You have the option to do that at any given time. Yeah. I'd be damned about time served. Oh, I've been seeing him for 6 months. You can still leave.
Yes, definitely. Oh, yes.
Oh, It's not easy to leave, but you still can leave because you should, like we talked about before, know what that piece felt like before you got to. You need to get back. You need to be feeling that throughout. If you ain't feeling that, you need to get back there. And sometimes that means you got to roll.
Yeah.
You got to respect yourself more than the trauma.
Yeah. Okay.
And if that trauma hurts, you got to ask yourself why you like the way it tastes.
Hallelujah. Wow.
That's really what it is. If you enjoy being hurt all the time, not enjoy, but you tolerate it and it's early, that's a you problem. That's all 100% you problem. You can't even pass the blame. You just sat in the hurt for 6 months. You.
And then that goes back to like what we said earlier. Like that person keeps continuing to jump to the same type of relationship over and over and over and over. So they are.
Yeah. It's a hard pill to swallow. I'm the problem. But once you realize and identify that you're the problem, that's when you end up finding the person that you've been looking for, because the energy different.
Yes.
The energy, everything, the whole aura is different. Because you walking now like I'm, I always tell people, these people, they'll be like, I'm healing myself. I was in a long relationship. And I'm like, how long you been healing? 10 years. Huh? Like, at some point, you're going to have to jump back in the pool and try to figure out, sometimes jumping back in the pool is for you to realize, am I still good or not? But you got to try. These people be healing for years. And I'm like, so who's your therapist that you healing with for that long? And they're like, I don't have no therapist. I'm figuring it out myself. No, there's no way that you are equipped to do all of that work for that many years and think you're gonna be out here. No. People that do that, it's a defense mechanism. It's something that they tell people so people don't have to know how fucked up they are. I'm just healing. Like, you can heal and still at some point put your toe in the water just to kind of see where you at. If you don't do that, how will you know that you're healed?
You're healing. Yep.
You won't know. And there's no such thing as 100% healed. There's a point where you have to understand you're not going to ever be fully healed. But what you can do is figure out how to deal with the trauma better, how to navigate it better. And this is what I know we got to go. This is what I always tell people. This is how you know that trauma doesn't fully heal. The first time you got your heart broke, if you think about that shit, you can remember it like it was yesterday. It's always been there. It don't go anywhere. Second time you got hurt and that shit, your ass was crying, you can think of that shit right now because it hurt like hell. The trauma didn't leave. You just learned how to adjust around it. That's healing. Healing doesn't mean, if I take 2 years, I'm going to be perfectly. No, you won't. You won't. You'll never get to 100% of destroying something that you went through. It doesn't happen. A car crash. If you had a car crash, you almost died. Guess what? You're going to have to live with that. You're going to have to eat that.
Right. That's just like losing your virginity. You only do it once.
And it's unfortunate because people feel like, if they don't get rid of it, then they can't do anything. But you can. We're very resilient people. We got to realize that we survived through worse.
Facts.
And we can do it. That means you too. Like, I don't care how weak you are. If you are working on yourself, and sometimes you might need to get some help, you need to be honest about that. I don't have all the, like, if you are a person that sits at home and say, I know everything, I'm going to call you Jesus. None of us do. None of us do. So once you admit that I don't know everything, then you make room for somebody to help you.
Yeah, most definitely.
Then you can heal.
Yeah.
Imagine this. I've been hurt and traumatized, and I'm sitting at home like, I'm going to fix myself. Now how dumb that sounds? Some of us just sit and figure it out. But when you go through all that egregious stuff and you don't talk to anybody, no friends, you don't talk to your mama, you don't even get it off, I'm going to sit at home and I'm going to be my own therapist. It sounds crazy, right? We don't have those tools. You don't even know how to communicate effectively with another person. You didn't curse somebody, I'm crazy. You got to deal with it. All the stuff we talked about. You might not be capable of fixing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the fact that you shouted out from the rooftops is proof.
Facts. You better preach it.
So anyway.
That part. So, okay. Well, because I didn't think we was going to hit that 2-hour mark, but we almost there.
I could do this all day, ladies and gentlemen. This is what I do.
Which is good because, Derek, honestly, this is about our podcast normally is about 2 hours. We didn't hit anywhere from 2 to 3 hours, real talk. So we already planning because once it's good, it's just good.
Right.
Oh wow. Rodney said this is one of the greatest podcasts tonight. The church doors are open. Come on, come on.
Yes.
Yeah, all of this knowledge I have comes through hell, fire, pain. I just know how to speak about it eloquently, but that shit hurt. Like me hurting other people. Here's the thing. This is what people need to understand about me real quick before we leave. The reason why I'm so good at this, and it's not me patting myself on the back, but it's kind of like weird. I'm an empathic person, right? So I can feel what you feel. So imagine being a whole predator out here, crushing people's hearts, but then feeling their pain while you're doing it.
Yep.
And then you got to do it again.
That's powerful.
And you got to do it again. And you got to do it again. So when women are like, this is how I feel, I'm like, I understand. And they're like, how? And I'm like, because I was the one that did the damage, and then I had to feel they yell, motherfucker, why you hurt my... And most dudes, that should be like, go ahead. And I'm like, damn. You take it all in as an empathic person, but I'm so hurt that I need to feel good. I got to go find somebody else. I have to in order for me to feel validated. And then I got to feel it. You got to carry all of that with you every time. Cycle. It's almost like a serial killer. You don't have any, you got a little bit of empathy because you're not like a whole like devil, but damn near close. Because you have to hurt people in order for you to feel good. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And because I went through that, because I got this little, I'm calculating mind and all of that, I used it. I didn't use that calculation mind for good for a lot of years. But on the other side of it, I'm like, wait, I did this for this reason. I did. So when a woman or a man come and say, yo, this is what I'm dealing with, I'm not like writing it down and all. I probably was that dude. Like I probably, y'all gotta imagine a guy who who came into this at the age where the internet started, right? Chatting, online dating. I was there at the beginning. I met everybody. I didn't give a damn who you were because I was hurt, so I didn't have a type. I dated everybody. Hood rat, doctor, lawyer, national this, congresswoman this. I've been everywhere because I didn't care. So I had to be good at becoming something for each one of them to make sure that they was getting what they needed. So when you have a scenario, I'm like, I know exactly what you're talking about because I was him. Yeah, it's a lot, but I'm using my powers for good now. This is my redemption story. I'm trying to make sure nobody else got to go through this. This is my therapy too, damn it. Yes. So I don't want nobody else to go through this, man, because it's crazy. So when people be like, yeah, this is what, I'll be like, you don't even got to say nothing else. I know exactly what that dude doing. I already know what he about to do. Some things won't change over this 2021. They're still doing the same shit.
Yeah.
Right.
You right.
Yeah.
Very, very right. Very right. All right, so we're gonna get ready to close out. Are you all right over that? Because you got this, you got this just look of like,
I can't even say shit though. I'm all fucked up.
You taking notes?
I'm taking it all. Sometimes you just gotta be quiet. And for me, it's a lot to just. So I'm just taking it in. I'm like, I'm so thankful. You're transparent, Derek. Just thank you for being here and being transparent and open and just, answering some questions. I'm definitely doing some reflection. That's why I'm sitting here like trying to figure it out.
Yeah, you like. Here's the thing. Here's my final thought of the night. Here's the thing. The things that you want in a relationship are possible for most of us, right? But you got to look inside yourself. And the reason why all of us have to do that is because a lot of the shit that you got to resolve came from when you was 5. I don't care who you are, right? And anybody that's on here, right? If you Google attachment theory, look at attachment styles,
man,
look at why and how we attach to people. Oh yeah, that's right.
Man,
okay,
I was gonna go there too. that attachment style.
All of these things. Here's the thing. Today in 2021, we can no longer say we don't have access to resources to look at some of this stuff anymore. We can't say, well, my mama was like this. No, you can. You come on a show like this and hear some stuff. You can Google and YouTube stuff. Love languages, attachment styles. All of this stuff, you can figure this shit out now and try to figure out like where you fit in this whole puzzle. We can't keep saying these old excuses of, well, I was never taught how to be. No, you're human. You have men, you have emotions. Sorry to break the news to you. We go through a lot of the same stuff women go through. It just don't look the same.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Anyway, I am landing my plane.
Yeah, because that attachment styles test was that was real and it was confirming at the same time. It was real and confirming at the same time. And
that's the one that said I was a narcissist.
Yeah.
That shit rigged, man. That shit's rigged.
It's accurate.
It's rigged, man.
It's accurate.
I kind of doubt my results too, but I'll hush. But continue.
Well, here's the thing. Even if you doubt the results, it does give you some insight on how this shit works. If nothing else. Like, if you are secure attachment style or not, because you the motherfucker that's like, I'm jealous. Like that, I'm jealous. You're not secure if you're a jealous person. Like, it's not rocket science. Once you actually see that little chart and you figure out, then you can be like, damn, that's me right there. This is probably some shit I got to work on. Yeah, that's all it is. Damn the test. You can take the test, look at the definitions of each one of them, and you know exactly where you fit if you're honest with yourself. You don't even need the test.
No, you're right.
That's just like that in the what is it, Lance Briggs too? The Lance Briggs test.
Yeah.
That was real. That was real.
I be knowing.
Is that all you have, ma'am, for your outro tonight? And that's rare.
I'm gonna clean out my closet. I'm finna go through and be like, you got to come out of here. And then we got to take a road trip to get out of San Antonio, and that's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, yeah. I ain't dated him.
Wait. See, y'all skipped the whole step. Like he said, get your stuff together first, and then travel. Y'all said, fuck them getting together. We gonna travel.
First, how you gonna? Hey, look, I'm gonna behave. Because see, this is what we didn't do this show that we usually do, and we almost made it until.
Ain't nobody paying attention with him. I've been biting my lip already with him tonight, so I ain't gonna go there. So, all right, sir, you want to go do your outro with DW?
All right, so yeah, mine gonna be short and sweet. First,
that'll be a first.
Watch your mouth now. Watch your mouth. All right, first and foremost, shout out to all the HBCUs out there right now. Y'all doing y'all thing. Y'all on ESPN 2. Hey, the games are phenomenal. I'm over here live streaming them. Hey, that's the type of publicity, and those are the type of athletes that are in HBCUs. So if you don't believe in HBCUs or you don't back a HBCU, now is the time to change that mindset and get behind these programs, because they, just like Power 5, they're playing some ball too. As far as the show, some of the things that we continuously talk about in all our shows keep being confirmed. Like tonight, we talked about knowing yourself, knowing who you are. You understand the traumatic events. You gotta face it. It's like that killer clown that's in your closet when you was a little kid. You have to face it. There's no running from it. You have to face it. You have to conquer it. And then after you get past that, you have to be able to communicate that with whoever you're trying to start your relationship with. I can't say no more, because we keep talking about it, and these things keep coming up. And it's not a coincidence that we have to know ourselves and be able to sell ourselves and help other people understand what we're looking for and what we want in a relationship, whether it's friendship, relationship, marriage, whatever. A saying I heard somebody say on the radio is like, if you look at relationship and friendship, it ends with a ship, which meaning you got to take a voyage. It's not going to be a situation. It's going to be a journey. The same with marriage. Marriage is a journey. Marriage only is an amplified relationship. Well, a legal relationship. So whatever your relationship is, that's what your marriage is going to be. So just take that journey and be the better you. And let's start changing a lot of the wounds and trauma and things in the community. If we could get one, it's 4 people on here. If we each touch one person, that's 8 people. Then it go to 16 people. And you see how fast it grows. Shit. Let's beat the black coronavirus. Let's do that then. Let's spread fast. All right. That's all I got.
I already know where your mind just went.
Okay, so all right. So as long as you know where my mind went, just
what? I'm trying to spread all this fast. Like, don't take centuries. Look, we need to make these changes now.
I get exactly where you're coming from, but coronavirus is killing people.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, you just put 2 negatives together of what society puts: black and then coronavirus.
Well,
negative.
But I understand the theory behind it, though.
Yeah, y'all get what I'm trying to say. Y'all, we got to nitpick shit I say. Shit.
It wasn't just me. Derek was feeling the same energy.
When I saw her face, I was like, I know exactly what she went with it.
Woo! But he be thinking
anyway.
But thank you, Derek. I appreciate that.
Anyway, I ain't gonna act up in front of company.
You do anyway, but we gonna mute your mic because yeah. So Derek, can you please give your outro for tonight and also your contact information? Because I'm sure some people are gonna be contacting you after tonight. So look, after tonight, I already told you. I just need to come set up camp on your couch.
Yeah, the couch is always open.
Yes.
I guess in short, it's really just about like this show is about, I guess, specifically about dating, but the whole thing about dating is be yourself. Don't talk yourself out of being in a relationship with somebody that's meaningful because you are, like for example, if somebody's like, I'm too nerdy for people to like me, or I'm too this or I'm too that. You got to own that shit. Take your ass to Comic-Con or some shit and find some other nerds, and somebody gonna love your ass. You got to own who you are, and once you do that, you don't have to pretend to be something else in order to catch somebody. Show as your best self, whatever that is. If you plus size and you trying to lose weight, own that shit. I'm working on it. Don't let that talk you, because there's some dudes out here that want you to get bigger. so yeah, they out there. Not that you would do that, but I'm just saying, when they say it's somebody for everybody, they out there. Don't talk yourself out of being in something just because you think you're not good enough and all of that other kind of stuff. So how you reach me is very simple. Just go to this one website, relationshipgumbo.info, and everything it's a hub for everything. I don't have to tell you what the Instagram and all that is. It's all in one place. You can see all the shows that's coming up. And I update it, every few days or whatever, because y'all keep having me booked and busy. Like all of these shows be like, I saw you on TK and now I want you on. So I'm always doing something. But I just want to spread the word. Like, if nobody, and I don't want to say that, I was gonna say if nobody ever called me, but nah, I need the loot too. But I do this because I love it. I want people to heal. I want our community to I'm a champion of relationships. I'm a champion of marriage, if that works for you. I just want us to get together, because right now folks is like they got swords and machine guns out, and I'm like, how the hell, why are grown men fighting women? Like, what are y'all like, what are we doing? You go out to a club and everybody in their neutral corner, like, what are y'all, nobody's getting phone numbers now? Like, what? I don't understand. I want y'all to get together. We need to create some black babies out here so we can grow this thing. But that's my thing. That's my mission. I just want people to be happy, and whatever I can do to add to that, it is what it is. So relationshipgumbo.info, you can find everything there.
I was with you till you said make some more black babies. That
hello.
What color you want them to be?
I mean, I'm out the baby. I'm out the baby line. I got two. I have two, so I'm good. Ain't no more coming this way.
Well, I was talking about people that are. Yeah, we ain't talking about, yeah. What they say, if it don't apply, let it what?
Yeah.
So just soak it in. I don't like. Yeah. My thing is this: people talk about the black community all the time, but the community doesn't survive without people. Like how we standing in neutral corners talking about you. I'm not gonna date you. Nobody's getting together, and if you do, it's toxic as hell, because you still like, I want to take her out on a date, but I need for her to pay for half, because I want to make sure she ain't gonna get me for my money. It's $30. It's $30. Like, what do you like? We gotta. This is little shit. Like, deal with it. You're a grown man. If you lose $30, you're not gonna die.
Oh yes, they do now.
They feel like that, but come on, like, it's a risk. You're gonna lose some and you're gonna win some. What they say at the end of Friday when he was fighting Debo, you win some, you lose some. But you live to fight another day. You're gonna lose some money, you're gonna lose some time, but you gotta keep trying. So that's my final.
In 2021, oh yeah, they feel like $10 is a loss. Like, yeah, it's sad. Yeah, definitely. So I first of all want to say thank you, Derek, for coming on. I enjoyed this. It was everything that I expected it to be. Thank you to my co-hosts as usual. Thank you to everybody that follows as well as supports this podcast. We greatly appreciate y'all. Next week, we will be talking about healing from child trauma And we actually have Felicia on, which I met from being on Derek's, watching Derek's podcast.
Oh, yeah.
So we have Felicia
let
on.
me tell you something, man. I got some more folks coming. Keep watching. I got some good folks. I'll be connecting with everybody. I got next week, I got another trauma coach coming on too. So man, Felicia's amazing. So that could be a good show too.
Definitely love her. We've been in touch since that night. And so I actually have her coming on next week. And I'm excited about that because we definitely know that in our Black community, the trauma is real. And there was so many things that we were raised up, how we were raised that you're supposed to keep it to yourself. And we Black and we suit, we got the S on our chest, so we don't have no issues. But we are discovering that child trauma, it had the effect of child trauma is long. It affects, it stops, it shows up and shows out, and a lot of time it shows up in our relationships, and relationships be failing, and you don't understand what did happen. So we definitely, and a lot of us are in a healing place, so we definitely want to start to heal, in these areas of life so that we can go forth and our Black community can grow and prosper, and we can get together instead of, like Derek said, having the swords and the guns and we fighting and boxing, doing more fighting and boxing than loving each other. So I definitely want to do that. Today, I'm going to give my baby her shout out. Today is National Daughters Day. So I definitely want to shout out my baby girl, which turned 24 this week. A happy birthday, very much as saying happy National Daughters Day. Mommy loves you to pieces and beyond. Nika Pinks has 2 babies as well. Derek has a baby girl as well. So definitely celebrate y'all today. I appreciate. So on that note, we are going to definitely end out. Definitely, man, I'm telling y'all, check Derek out. You will be more than blessed. You will get fed. You will learn some things. He will definitely make you look like, oh shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit up that Real Shop Talk though.
I was just
just go to my website and it's on there too, or realshoptalk.net goes directly in. But check it out, man. It's gonna change your life, man.
Real Shop Talk.
It's a good show.
I don't miss an episode of Real Shop Talk. That is, like I said, that is definitely my favorite podcast because you can't walk away from there. You ain't gonna walk from there without no tears. I ain't been tear-free yet since I've been watching. But the gems that are dropped in there, man, they will help you get your life together. They will make you think. Like, you're going to feel something there. And then just being able to see not 1, not 2, but 5 transparent gentlemen that are putting their stuff out on this table, no matter how ugly it is. Nika Pinks that got caught up in one of the episodes. And she was, So we've been on there. We definitely support, appreciate the love also, because they give love back as well. So, but man, I'm telling you, if you ain't tuned in on Monday nights, definitely you have to check them out because they are 5 amazing guys that are just really trying to change the narrative, to put positive content out also, which is what, as Black podcasters, is what we should be doing.
Right. Opening
that door and kicking down some of these stereotypes and the taboo stuff that people don't want to talk about. That's what our basis was for this podcast. So coming across other people that are looking to do the same thing, it just works that way. So
absolutely.
Hey, it's a working thing, and I'm just like, let's get it. So on that note, we are out for tonight. We will see y'all next week, same time, and we appreciate y'all and love y'all as always.
Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Let's get it.
Yo, this is about to appointed or chosen. Appointed or chosen for this here time. I don't want what you got, I only want what's mine. This right here is for you that crossed the line. All up in the club screaming, dip, she mighty fine. Walking up to me, trying to cop a feel. Whisper in my ear, talking about your $1 million. Nah, that's cap, you gotta got a million baby mamas. And Jazzy